Hi guys, can you see me? I know I'm in the dark. I'm still suffering from my bipolar depression, and it's like so rock bottom that I just feel like I'm not going to be able to come out of it. I'm laying in bed watching my Netflix. Supernatural is what I always watch. That's my go-to, especially when I'm really down. My anxiety's so high. I've taken my anxiety medicine, but I haven't called my doctor's office yet. With my anxiety high, it's so hard to talk to people, and then I start crying, and everything just gets worse. So I'm trying. I feel like I have to try to get up the courage to call them, and it's just not working. So if anybody's suffering, always remember there's a suicide hotline if you ever need it. Never forget that. Never forget there's somebody there that supports you. My mom is really bad about not being supportive about depression. She thinks that you have to have a reason to be depressed. And there's no reason for me to be depressed. It's just depression. It just hits me, and it hits me hard. And usually this is usually my time of year where I'm the happiest. Fall and winter are my best times of the year, and the holidays are really I love the holidays, and I just can't get in the spirit. I'd been sick early the first of the year with COVID. Then I had surgery, and then my mom ended up being in the hospital with pneumonia and everything. So it's been a really hard year for us, and I never did take down but a few ornaments off my Christmas tree. We don't use the den very often, so we stay in the main part of the house because the den is a big add-on. So I need to get Sean to put some of the ornaments that I took off of the tree and put it back up. And I'll try to show y'all like my nutcracker collection. I, I collect nutcrackers. So this year I'm going to try to focus on getting back to normal and doing the things because I'm a giver and I like giving gifts. So I'm going to work on really hard on doing that this year and trying to think of things that will make me happy. But the depression is just so severe, and the bad things, thoughts come into your head, and I know this too shall pass is what I always tell myself. But when you're depressed and you have bad thoughts that come into your head, just suicidal ideations will pop in periodically and they go away. But it's just like where you just want to slice open your wrists, kind of come into your head at times, and it goes away, but it's just really difficult. And I've always had high anxiety and PTSD from very abusive relationships. I haven't had very much luck in relationships. For more than half of my life, I haven't been married. I do have a total of 6 kids, if I've never told y'all. I got pregnant when I was 18, so I was just a kid. So I'm 18 years older than my oldest son. And rocky relationships with them just because of my bipolar disorder. My youngest son is the one that I'm closest to, and one of my daughters I'm really close to. Two of my kids live in Virginia, so I don't see them very often, hardly ever. And they're twin boys, and I talked to one of them on Facebook periodically. They both graduated college. All of my kids, except for my youngest, of course, he's homeschooled. He's in there working on school right now. And all of them, four of them have graduated college. Two are nurses. One is, he does, his major was psychology. I always forget what their minors are, but he does research for a university in Virginia, psychological research. And then the one that's graduated college, and I never can remember for the life of me what his major was, but he is working at a grocery store and thinking about doing the same as my youngest son, directing and screenwriting. So I think he's going to go with a different career choice. But I'm just pleading that anybody who's having problems to try to reach out. It's hard for me to reach out for help. My son, he my youngest son, he's just turned 16 in October. And he has always been my support. I know it's hard for someone to consider that, but it's almost just been me and him for his entire life. And he looks after me. He comes in here and checks on me. When I was on insulin before I had my surgery, he would give me my shots, and he helps me. He he's my life, and I go on living because of him. And it's just very difficult to live with bipolar. I wasn't I've always had problems with depression. My dad and grandmother had problems with depression, which I think my grandmother was bipolar as well. I wasn't diagnosed until my twins were born, so I was in my late 20s. So I have some of my kids are bipolar. They think one of my youngest one is too. He's on medications, which his medications seem to be helping him. I had another doctor prior to the one that I have now, and they had me on so many medications, and I got addicted to some of them. The ones that I have now, though, I don't think they're giving me high enough doses of the medication. They always start at a baby dose, and it just doesn't work. So they'll either change me to another baby dose of something else. And my body has built up such a resistance to the medications that they don't give me enough to help me. And I keep trying to explain to them that, but it doesn't seem to help. This last time when they're only doing, they're only doing the over the phone appointments. They're not letting anybody in the office. I tried to explain to her about my anxiety and how they had given me multiple anxiety medications to help me get through, because I have rapid anxiety attacks. It's not just here periodically I'll have one, and they come and go. Like mine are almost continuous. And I've even had to go to the emergency room because it would feel like my throat was closing up, like I was panicking, and they would have to give me an IV to calm me down. They get so bad. And my son, that's why keeps his face off of Facebook, because as he builds, he doesn't want people to recognize him because he has such bad panic attacks and everything that he would freak out if somebody came up and talked to him and recognized him from his if they saw him out. It just freaks him out. So he just stays behind the scene, even though I've got him a camera for Christmas to videotape. I figure he could videotape things happening and do it on his screen, not necessarily show himself, but he could vlog things that he was seeing or interested in and show on his vlog. I just want to be able to help other people, but I feel like I am so rock bottom right now. It's just so hard to even function. I stay in bed. I haven't ate all day yet. I had Sean take out some beef fajita meat, which I'm going to try to make me a little fajita for dinner and maybe some rice. But the white rice was no more than I can eat. And Sean won't eat the Spanish rice. Not the way I was going to make it tonight. That it kind of goes to waste, and I hate wasted food. So I don't know if I'm going to make the rice or just a little fajita. I got the street taco flour tortillas